Greetings everybody and welcome to a brand new episode of All Things Lambda, the community show that feeds you the community news with a spoon. We got some great news stories for you this week, as well as the end result of the BenQ ScreenBar giveaway. So if you want to find out if you won or not, please watch until the end of the video. Anyway, let's get this party started.
LambdaGeneration.
Last Monday was a very special day for Half-Life fans around the world, as Half-Life Alyx, the newest installment in the franchise, has launched. People flocked to play the game, and according to these review scores, it certainly wasn't a disappointment. Man, I really need to get a VR headset now. Of course, a game's launch is rarely completely perfect, and Half-Life Alyx certainly wasn't exempt from this unfortunate industry standard. On Wednesday, March 25th, Valve released a new patch for the game that fixed several of these launch issues. Issues that were fixed include improved turning options in the preferences menu, improved impact decals resolution on enemies, and some crash issues have been resolved as well. Just imagine yourself being super immersed in this world, only to suddenly have everything go black, only for a Windows crash box to come up on the screen. I'd be terrified. Anyway, if you want to read up on these patch notes for yourself, then I highly recommend you go and check out the blog post on Half-Life Alyx Steam page. A link for that is in the description below. Also, check out our first 40 minutes gameplay video. It's a good way to get acquainted with the game before you step in yourself. Click the card on the top right corner for that. We're certainly not done with the Half-Life Alyx news just yet. Oh no, we're just getting started. One thing I was very excited about during the approach of the release of Half-Life Alyx was the soundtrack. I wondered what Mike Moraski's take on it would be. Unfortunately, I don't have the game, nor do I have a VR headset, so I can't play the game and experience the soundtrack that way. It will be the last time I mention that, don't worry. So it's a bit difficult to experience the soundtrack for myself, apart from watching gameplay videos of course, but that would spoil the game, so that's a no-go for me either. Luckily, YouTube user Games528 has uploaded the complete soundtrack up on YouTube, so we can all listen to it that way. The playlist the soundtrack pieces reside in is rather large, featuring 90 individual videos. Now, some of these videos just include stingers or sounds used for the atmosphere of certain levels, but they're technically still part of the soundtrack. If you wish to listen to it now, that's cool. I left a link in the description that'll bring you to the playlist. Mike Shapiro, the voice actor behind Barney, the G-Man, and many other Half-Life characters, is on a roll lately, being all social on social media and doing interviews with people. For the release of Half-Life Alyx, he did an interview with Tyler McVicker of Valve News Network. In this interview, they talk about Barney and his whereabouts, how he was involved in the production, what goes into voicing the G-Man, and many more questions were asked and answered. It's also really cool to hear Shapiro's actual voice for once. I think it kinda sounds like a mix between the G-Man and Barney for some reason. If you'd like to listen to this interview, and yes, it's a listening experience, then go ahead and find the link in the description below. IGN is still on a roll with their Half-Life Alyx interviews, and even after the game got released, they're still busy pumping them out. We got one really interesting article on the IGN website though. It was written by Tom Marks and released on the 23rd of March, Half-Life Alyx's release day. It talks about why Half-Life 2 Episode 3 never really became a thing. The main reason mentioned here is scope creep. In basic terms, the episode became too large to just be called an episode of Half-Life 2. Valve was also working on Source 2 at the time, and they didn't want to work on a game at the same time they were developing the engine for it. Another reason mentioned in the article was that Valve just didn't have the creative spark for a new Half-Life installment. Something that came later on when VR became a lot more competent, as we all know. Another thing IGN did was release another filmed interview with Robin Walker and Chris Ramo, one of Valve's newest developers who came along with the Campo Santo acquisition. This was part of their Unfiltered series. In this interview, they talk about a whole bunch of things, like how the Orange Box was conceived, how it was for Chris Ramo to start working at Valve, and they even talk a bit about Half-Life Alyx sound design, and a lot of other things. Of course, I recommend you check the article and the video for yourself. A link to them can be found in the description below. Raising the Bar Redux is back in the news again, and they released a brand new, very chunky media update that will be their last one before the official demo is going to release. It's exciting stuff, so let's dig in, shall we? First off, they announced some of the new team members they have acquired since the last time. They got new people in the playtesting area, they got a new animator and a new level designer on the team as well. Next up, we got some new lighting props we can look at. These are the lights the Combine uses in their respective areas, and they really do look sufficiently Combine-y. Right after that, we get some concept art for the G-Man thrown at us, and it's got some interesting design differences from what we're used to in Half-Life 1 and 2. Especially this mustached version. He kinda looks like a 60s gangster or something. Luckily, they decided to keep the design more or less the same as the standard G-Man as shown in these renders. Next up, we got more props to look at. We got a fire extinguisher, which may not serve as a weapon in the game, but just as a mere prop. We got the Magnum ammo pickup model, which looks nice and detailed. We got some recon scanner gibs and even an item crate, which is of course very important. Lastly, we got a brand new manhack model, which looks way chunkier than the design seen in Half-Life 2. We got some new lamp props, we got new soda machine props, we got a new model for the health charger, and a new model for the suit charger. I especially like the suit charger. I think it looks angular and awesome. Last but not least in this update, we got a model for Elena Mossman, who was an earlier version of Judith Mossman. Accompanying this model, we also got some concept art of her. Is it just me, or does she kinda look more like a Karen than a Elena? Maybe it's just me. The team is also hiring again. Currently, they're looking for new level designers, female voice actors for Alyx and Elena Mossman, and male voice actors for the Consul, Kleiner, Eli Maxwell, and Grigori. So if you think you can fill any of those roles, contact Kralich on Discord. He's also in our Discord server. That might also be an easy way to get a hold of him. DM him. Now, if you want to see and read this new media update for yourself, a link in the description will guide you to the ModDB page. We have gotten to the end of the video, and we're finally going to announce the winner of the BenQ ScreenBar giveaway. And without further ado, let me tell you who it is. It is modsandends. Congratulations. Thank you for your comment and your kind words. It's very, very appreciated. Please send us an email to mail@LambdaGeneration.com so we can work things out further from there. Congratulations for winning the BenQ ScreenBar, and a massive thank you goes out to BenQ for enabling us to do this. We hope to be doing more of these in the future. You know what we'll also be doing more in the future? Wait, I already did that segue. Our social media pages are linked down in the description below, as well as our Discord server, which is definitely worth a join. My stuff is also down there. It consists of my own YouTube channel and my Twitter page. I really hope you'll give them a follow. Follow them now. And with that all being said, I'm going to end episode 86 of All Things Lambda. Now don't be sad. Please. Stop being sad. We'll be back next week with more Half-Life community news. In the meantime though, don't forget to subscribe and to ring that bell icon to never miss another episode. Salutations, take care, and be safe, okay?